There comes a moment in life when the weight of the world presses against you, when the days feel like a repetition of struggle, and the nights are restless with thoughts of what could have been. You wonder if circumstances conspire against you, if success is a privilege granted to a fortunate few, while the rest must endure. But what if I told you that there exists a discovery so profound, so powerful, that it has altered the course of history for those who embrace it? A revelation that once understood changes not just the way you see the world, but the way the world responds to you. This is not a secret buried in ancient texts or locked away in the vaults of the privileged. It is something within you, waiting to be awakened. Collier tells us about what he calls the world's greatest discovery. Not a scientific breakthrough, nor a hidden treasure of material wealth, but a realization so simple and yet so transformative that it has shaped the lives of the most successful individuals in history. It is this: a man's thoughts shape his reality. To understand the magnitude of this discovery, consider this. Every great invention, every towering achievement, every work of art that has stood the test of time began as a thought, a mere whisper in the mind of its creator before it became something real, something tangible. The telephone, the steam engine, the soaring skyscrapers, none of these were accidents of fate. They were first imagined, believed in, and then brought to life. Collier reminds us that the same law governs our own existence. We are not victims of circumstance, nor are we bound by the limitations we perceive around us. Rather, our lives mirror the thoughts we hold most dear. A mind preoccupied with failure finds failure at every turn. A mind steeped in doubt is met with closed doors and missed chances. But a mind that dares to believe in possibility, it bends the world in its favor. If you have ever felt powerless, as if life has already decided your fate, understand this: the moment you change your thoughts, you change your destiny. History is filled with men and women who, against all odds, rose above their circumstances not by mere chance, but by mastering their thoughts. Take Henry Ford. Before he revolutionized the automobile industry, he was just another man with an idea. But what set him apart was his unwavering conviction that he could make his vision a reality. Others told him it was impossible, that automobiles would never replace the horse-drawn carriage, but Ford refused to let their doubts become his own. His thoughts were fixed on success, and so success came. Or consider Helen Keller. Born blind and deaf, many assumed she would never communicate, let alone inspire millions. Yet she lived by the truth Collier speaks of. What the mind holds on to, it brings forth. Though she could not see, she envisioned a world where she could learn, where she could teach, and so she did. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who do not is not found in talent nor in luck, but in the way they think. You may be wondering, how does this work? Is it simply positive thinking? A passive hope that life will improve if only we think happy thoughts? No, it is something much greater than that. Collier explains that the universe operates by a law as fixed as gravity itself. The thoughts we dwell upon act as signals, drawing to us the circumstances that align with them. A man who expects defeat walks into the world with hesitation, with uncertainty, and the world, reflecting his own belief, grants him just that. But a man who expects success moves with a different energy, an unshakable confidence, and life, as if responding to an unspoken command, aligns itself with his vision. This is why two men, given the same opportunities, the same challenges, can walk away with entirely different outcomes. One sees only obstacles, and so his path is filled with them. The other sees solutions, and so doors open where none seemed to exist before. The power is not in the world, it is in the mind that shapes it. Think for a moment about the thoughts that occupy your mind. When faced with difficulty, do you tell yourself, "I cannot. This is too hard. I was never meant for more"? If so, understand that these are not just words, they are instructions you give to the world around you. But what if, starting today, you shifted those thoughts? What if instead of "I cannot," you told yourself, "I will find a way"? Instead of "this is too hard," you said, "this is my opportunity to grow." What if, instead of believing that success is reserved for others, you chose to believe that it was meant for you as well? The shift may seem small, but it holds the power to turn your life around. Collier tells us that the greatest discovery is not made in a laboratory, nor written in textbooks. It is the realization that we are the architects of our fate, that our thoughts, more than any outside force, determine the life we lead. The question then is simple. What will you choose to think? Will you continue to believe in limitations, in the idea that life has already been decided for you? Or will you take hold of this truth and shape your future as you wish it to be? The moment you decide, truly decide, to think differently, your life begins to shift. Doors open, opportunities emerge, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Collier's words are not just philosophy, they are the key to unlocking a life beyond what you ever imagined. You are not bound by the past. You are not a prisoner of circumstance. You are and always have been the master of your thoughts. And once you think like this, once you truly embrace this truth, your life turns around. Yet, knowing this truth is only the beginning. The real challenge is in living it, day by day, moment by moment. For even the strongest minds falter when faced with the weight of habit, the pull of old ways, the doubts that whisper in the silence. This is where most falter. They glimpse the power within them, but hesitate to claim it fully. So how does one go beyond mere understanding? How does one turn belief into reality, thought into transformation? Collier offers an answer, a deeper revelation that separates wishful thinking from true mastery. This force is your mind, but not merely the conscious part that plans and reasons. No, deeper still lies something far more powerful, the genie of your mind. Collier speaks of this genie not as a metaphor, but as a truth so absolute that once grasped, it alters everything. The moment you understand its nature, the moment you learn to direct it with certainty, your world begins to change. No struggle, no pleading, no waiting for fate to turn in your favor, just the steady unfolding of your desires, shaped by the power of your thought. Most people live unaware of this silent force. They drift through life believing they are subject to luck, to circumstance, to forces beyond their control, but Collier reveals a different reality, one in which the subconscious mind, the genie within, is always at work, shaping existence according to the thoughts impressed upon it. And here lies the great revelation. The genie does not discriminate between what is wanted and what is feared. It does not discern between prosperity and struggle, between happiness and despair. It only hears what you think, what you expect, what you dwell upon, and then it makes it so. A man who constantly worries about failure is, without realizing it, instructing his genie to create failure. A woman who believes she is undeserving of joy is commanding her genie to keep joy at bay. The mind listens, absorbs, and produces, but once this is understood, once you recognize the power at your disposal, everything shifts. Collier does not merely suggest that thought influences reality, he declares that thought is reality in its most fluid form, waiting only for direction. The moment you change the dominant ideas in your mind, the moment you impress upon your subconscious the certainty of success, of abundance, of strength, your genie begins to sculpt your world accordingly. But how does one truly harness this power? It is not enough to wish. Passing fancy, a fleeting hope, these hold no weight with the subconscious mind. It responds only to belief, to conviction, to the unwavering certainty that what you seek is already yours. A person who merely wishes for wealth remains tied to a reality of scarcity. But a person who sees themselves as already wealthy, who holds this truth with firm belief, begins to notice opportunities, to act in alignment with abundance, to draw forth prosperity, as though it were inevitable. And indeed, it is. The world you experience is a reflection of the thoughts you have accepted as true, not the idle musings, not the occasional daydreams, but the deep-seated beliefs that rest beneath the surface. Change those, and the world must change with them. Collier urges us to become deliberate in our thoughts, to guard the mind as one would guard a treasure, allowing only that which serves us to take root. He reminds us that the subconscious is always listening, always working, and that it does not distinguish between the thoughts we choose and the thoughts we allow to settle in by habit. Consider what this means. If you tell yourself daily that you are strong, capable, destined for success, then your subconscious accepts this as fact. It aligns your actions, your perceptions, your very circumstances to reflect this truth. But if you tell yourself, even subtly, that you are limited, that success is distant, that joy is for others but not for you, then the genie obeys just as faithfully. The ancient philosophers spoke of fate as a thing woven by unseen hands, dictated by forces beyond human reach. But Collier tells us otherwise. He shows us that fate is not imposed from without, it is shaped from within. The mind is the loom, and thought is the thread, and so the question arises: what pattern are you weaving? What reality are you commanding into existence day after day with the thoughts you hold most closely? The transformation begins the moment you choose, not by straining against the past, not by fighting against what has already come to pass, but by stepping into the truth that has always been yours to claim. And so we return to the genie, the force within you, waiting only for your direction. It has never been absent. It has never failed to act. It has only followed the commands you have given it, whether knowingly or not. Now, knowing its power, knowing its certainty, what will you command it to do? No longer must you hope. No longer must you wonder if change is possible. It is. It always has been. And it begins the moment you think in a way that aligns with what you seek. Your genie awaits. Collier's words are a call to awareness. To know that your subconscious mind is always at work is to become the master of your fate. Every great achievement, every success story, every person who has risen from adversity, all have, in some way, harnessed this truth. Great minds throughout history have spoken of this power. Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie. All understood that belief precedes reality. They knew that the subconscious, once directed with certainty, brings forth what is needed to manifest the vision held in the mind. But what about the ordinary person? The person who feels trapped in a life they did not intend? The one who has perhaps unknowingly allowed their genie to follow the wrong instructions? Here is the liberating truth. The past holds no power over you, except that which you allow. You are not bound by the thoughts of yesterday. At any moment, you may begin again. A single shift in thought, a single decision to believe differently sets the genie upon a new path. It does not delay. It does not hesitate. The moment you truly believe, it begins to work in ways unseen, drawing you to the people, the opportunities, the circumstances that align with your new reality. This is not a lesson in wishful thinking. This is a principle as certain as gravity, as unwavering as the rising sun. The subconscious mind is not a thing of fantasy. It is the silent force behind every action, every experience, every reality. What you accept as true, you shall see reflected in your world. And so the greatest question remains: what truth will you now claim? What belief will you hold so deeply that it reshapes the very fabric of your life? The genie stands ready. Your mind is the master. Your life is yours to command. But to command one's life, one must first understand its source. If the subconscious mind shapes our reality, then what in turn shapes the subconscious? What force lies at the root of all creation, seen and unseen? This is where Collier leads us next, peeling back yet another layer of understanding. For beneath every thought, beneath every belief, there exists a cause far greater than the individual will, a force both infinite and intimate, waiting to be understood. All around you is the force at work. The trees reaching skyward, the rivers carving their paths through the land, the stars tracing their courses in the heavens. Each obeys an unseen principle. The same is true for your own life. There is no randomness, no luck, no capricious fate deciding your future. The primal cause moves according to law, and that law is set in motion by your mind. Collier reveals that the human mind is not a passive instrument, but a creative force. Most people live unaware of their power, drifting from one circumstance to another, believing that life simply happens to them, but the truth is far greater. Thought is the master key. Every great achievement, every towering success began first in the realm of thought. A desire forms, a vision takes shape, and with unwavering faith, it manifests in the world. When you begin to think in alignment with this principle, everything changes. No longer do you see obstacles as insurmountable barriers. Instead, you recognize them as mere stepping stones, challenges designed to refine your strength. The primal cause does not work in halves. It does not grant abundance to one and scarcity to another by whim. It simply reflects. If you expect defeat, it gives you failure. If you anticipate greatness, it aligns the path before you. Consider the many who have turned their lives around by shifting their thinking. There is a moment, a realization, when they understand that they alone hold the power to direct their course. That understanding is the turning point. No longer bound by past failures or limited by doubts, they step forward with confidence, and the world rearranges itself in response. But Collier does not promise instant miracles. The process requires faith, discipline, and persistence. The mind must be trained like a muscle, exercised daily in right thinking. Idle thoughts of fear and worry must be cast aside, replaced with the steady conviction that the primal cause is working in their favor. With time, the results become evident. The primal cause is infinite in its reach, yet personal in its application. It is not only the force behind groundbreaking inventions, but also the silent hand guiding a person toward their purpose. Every thought you hold, every belief you entertain, shapes the very essence of your being. If you think thoughts of success, you attract success. If you dwell on doubt and fear, you draw those very things into your reality. Collier explains that the key to mastering this force is consistency. Just as a sculptor chisels away at a block of marble until a masterpiece emerges, so must you shape your thoughts daily. It is not enough to believe in your potential one day and doubt it the next. The primal cause does not respond to fleeting whims. It aligns itself with the dominant pattern of your thinking. Your life is a canvas, and your thoughts are the brushstrokes. Every day, with every thought, you are painting the picture of your future. The question is, what will that picture be? Will it be one of doubt and limitation, or of boundless possibility? The choice is yours, for the primal cause will deliver precisely what you demand of it. The moment you accept this truth, your life takes a new direction. No longer a victim of chance, you become the master of your destiny. Your thoughts take on a new power, charged with certainty infused with a quiet but unshakable faith, and as you walk forward, the primal cause walks with you, shaping the world according to the vision you hold. This is not wishful thinking. It is a law as real as gravity. Just as an acorn contains within it the blueprint of a mighty oak, so too does your mind contain the blueprint of your future. Your only task is to nurture the right thoughts, to plant the seeds of success, and to trust that in time they will grow into the reality you desire. Doubt is the only enemy that can stand in your way. Doubt clouds your vision, weakens your resolve, and disrupts the steady process of creation. But just as light dispels darkness, so does faith dissolve doubt. When you replace uncertainty with conviction, when you choose to believe in the power within you, you set in motion an unstoppable force. The world may not change overnight, but the moment you change your thinking, the process begins. A new energy fills your steps, a quiet confidence takes root within you. Opportunities appear where before there were none. Circumstances shift in your favor. It is not magic, nor is it mere coincidence. It is the primal cause responding, as it always has, to the thoughts you hold most dear. So what will you choose to think? Will you see yourself as a victim of circumstance, or as the architect of your fate? Will you allow old patterns of fear and limitation to dictate your future, or will you step boldly into the power that has always been yours? The unseen force that governs the universe is not indifferent. It is waiting, ready to respond, ready to create whatever you set before it. The question is not whether it will work, but whether you will dare to believe it, for once you do, there is no limit to what you can achieve. And yet, belief alone is not enough. Desire must rise within you, not a fleeting wish, not a passive longing, but a fire so strong that it bends reality to its will. Every great achievement, every towering success begins with a single spark of desire. It is the first law of gain, the driving force behind all creation. Without it, no thought takes form, no vision turns real, but with it, fully embraced, fully felt, there is no force in existence that can stand in your way. Desire is the primal spark of creation. It is the same power, untamed yet patient, that lies dormant within every person. Some never awaken it, drifting through life resigned to the tides. But those who recognize its existence, those who understand that their thoughts have power, can summon it to transform their world. Collier tells us that desire is the architect of reality. The mind, he explains, is a garden, and desire is the seed. Whatever seed is planted, whether it be for wealth, health, or success, will inevitably grow, if nurtured with unwavering faith. This is the secret that the great achievers of the world have always known. It is not mere talent or luck that separates them from the rest. It is the intensity of their longing, the refusal to accept anything less than what they have envisioned. Think for a moment about a great river, surging forward with relentless force. It does not hesitate, nor does it question whether it will reach the ocean. It simply moves, flowing with an unshakable certainty. So too must desire flow through your mind. It must be more than a passing fancy, more than a flickering hope. It must become the undercurrent of your every thought. The world reflects back what the mind projects. If the mind is filled with doubt, the world responds with obstacles. If the mind is alive with certainty, the world bends to accommodate its vision. Yet Collier warns that desire alone is not enough. A dream, no matter how vivid, cannot manifest without the conviction to pursue it. Desire must be paired with unwavering belief, an absolute certainty that what is sought is already yours in spirit. He speaks of this belief as a law of nature, one as dependable as gravity. The subconscious mind, that silent yet infinitely powerful force, accepts whatever it is given. If it is given doubt, it nurtures doubt. If it is given unyielding confidence, it moves mountains to make that confidence a reality. How often do we silence our desires before they have a chance to take root? How many dreams have been dismissed as impossible before they were ever tested? The mind, conditioned by years of limitation, whispers that we must be practical, that we must temper our expectations, but Collier insists that the practical mind is the enemy of creation. The greatest achievements in history were not born from practicality. They were born from desire that defied reason, that refused to accept anything but triumph. He gives us examples of men and women who changed the world not through circumstance, but through the sheer force of their longing. These were not people who simply wished for a better life. They demanded it. They saw themselves already in possession of the success they sought, and because they saw it, it became real. The subconscious mind, once programmed with an idea, will stop at nothing to bring it into existence. It will guide the individual toward unseen opportunities, nudge them toward the right people, and inspire the right actions. The world moves for those who dare to see beyond what is in front of them. But how does one cultivate such a desire? How does one shift from passive longing to the kind of burning, unshakable desire that Collier describes? The answer lies in focus. The scattered mind, one that flits from dream to doubt, will never build anything lasting. But the mind that fixates on a single vision, that nurtures its desire daily as one would a flame, becomes a force of nature. It is not enough to want something occasionally, to entertain a dream in idle moments. It must become a hunger, a certainty so strong that the very idea of failure becomes absurd. Collier's words offer not only reassurance, but a challenge. to look inward and ask whether our desires are truly alive or merely sleeping. If they are sleeping, they must be stirred, awakened with the same energy that ignites the stars. We must speak of our desires as though they are already real. Think of them with the assurance of someone recalling a memory rather than constructing a fantasy. The mind does not differentiate between what is imagined with absolute belief and what is experienced in the physical world. To desire something fully is to call it forth. The world is shaped by those who understand this law, by those who refuse to let the doubts of others dictate their own reality. Collier speaks to the silent architect within each of us, the part that has always known its own potential but has been shackled by hesitation. He tells us that the first law of gain is not wealth, not opportunity, not talent, but the unyielding force of desire. The rest will follow as surely as the sun rises. And so the question remains. What is it that you desire? Not vaguely, not in fleeting moments, but with a hunger that demands to be satisfied. If you can answer that question with absolute clarity, if you can hold to it with unwavering faith, then the world will begin to shift in your favor. This is not a mere philosophy. It is a law as ancient as time itself. Desire is the engine of the universe, and once you harness it, once you allow it to consume your every thought, your life will turn in a way that seems almost miraculous. But it is not a miracle. It is the law of the mind, the power that has always been within you, waiting to be claimed. However, desire alone is only the beginning. It must be shaped, directed, given form through a definite purpose. A wish is fleeting, but a purpose is unwavering. It is the fixed star by which all great men and women have navigated their lives. Without purpose, even the strongest desire will drift, unfulfilled. But with it, the mind is set into motion, the unseen forces of the universe drawn toward it, bending circumstances, aligning events, opening doors where none seemed to exist before. From childhood, we have been told that stories like Aladdin and the Magic Lamp are mere fantasies. A poor boy finds a lamp, rubs it, and out comes a genie, ready to serve his every command. But Collier argues that this tale contains a profound truth. The genie exists, not in a lamp, but within your own mind. It is your subconscious, an infinite source of power capable of granting your desires, shaping your reality, and changing your life forever. What is this genie? It is the power of belief, the creative force within that responds to your thoughts and expectations. Most people go through life unaware that they hold such influence over their circumstances. They think their struggles are dictated by fate, by luck, by forces outside themselves. But once you think differently, once you recognize that you are the master of your own destiny, everything begins to change. The genie has been there all along, waiting for you to speak the right words, to issue the right command. Collier tells us that the first step is recognizing that this power is real. Just as Aladdin had to summon his genie with confidence, you must speak to your subconscious with certainty. Doubt, hesitation, and fear only cloud the connection between you and the limitless force within. But when you truly believe, when you command your mind with unwavering faith, the genie responds. It does not question, it does not judge, it simply obeys. Consider the way you think about your desires. Do you approach them with hesitation? With an inner voice whispering, "It's too difficult," or "I am not lucky enough"? If so, you are telling your genie to hold back, to remain idle. But when you change your thoughts, when you replace doubt with certainty, when you act as if your desires are already on their way, the subconscious sets into motion the very forces that will bring them to you. Collier explains that the great minds of history understood this secret. The inventors, the leaders, the visionaries, they all knew that success begins in the mind. Thomas Edison did not wait for proof that electricity could be harnessed. He believed it, and so he found a way. The same is true for every great achievement. The moment you shift your thinking, the moment you recognize that your thoughts create your reality, your entire world begins to change. But belief alone is not enough. The genie does not grant wishes through idle dreaming. It responds to action. You must think yes. but you must also act. Collier describes this as the great partnership between the conscious and subconscious mind. The conscious mind envisions, desires, commands. The subconscious listens, obeys, and works tirelessly to turn those desires into reality. Every day you send commands to your subconscious. If you tell it that life is hard, that money is scarce, that success is for others but not for you, then the genie will create that reality. But if you tell it that opportunities are everywhere, that you are capable of achieving greatness, that abundance is your natural state, then the genie will shape your world accordingly. Collier insists that the subconscious does not care whether your thoughts are positive or negative. It only follows instructions. It is like a fertile field, ready to grow whatever seeds you plant. If you plant doubt, struggle, and failure, you will reap those things. But if you plant confidence, abundance, and success, those too will flourish. The lesson of Aladdin's lamp is that the genie asks only one thing: clarity of command. What do you truly want? Not what you wish vaguely, not what you think might be nice, but what you know with all certainty is meant for you. The clearer you desire, the more powerfully the subconscious responds. It is the unfocused mind, the scattered wish, that finds nothing but frustration. Many people unknowingly work against themselves. They spend years wishing for success while constantly telling themselves they are unworthy. They desire wealth but resent those who have it. They dream of love but doubt it will come. The genie cannot operate under conflicting commands. It cannot bring prosperity to a mind that believes in scarcity. It cannot bring joy to a mind that dwells in sorrow. But once you align your thoughts, once your desire and belief move in the same direction, the subconscious will move mountains to bring your vision to life. Collier urges us to experiment with this truth. He challenges us to test it. Choose a desire, something that truly calls to you. Not a fleeting wish, but a deep, burning goal. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Imagine as if it is already true. And then act. Confidently, boldly, as if it were on its way. Watch as opportunities arise, as doors open, as circumstances shift. This is not coincidence. It is not luck. It is the power of your mind shaping reality. The key is persistence. Aladdin did not summon the genie once and then abandon the lamp. He used it over and over, with faith that his wishes would be fulfilled. In the same way, you must reinforce your desires daily. Feed your mind with images of success, with affirmations of your worth. Do not let doubt creep in, for doubt weakens the connection. Strengthen your belief and the genie will work tirelessly on your behalf. Collier tells us that this power, this genie, belongs to all of us. It is not reserved for the lucky few, not given only to the wealthy or the privileged. It is within every person, in every moment, waiting only for recognition. The moment you understand this, the moment you take hold of this truth, your life will never be the same. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are not bound by the past. You hold in your mind the key to transformation. Think in this way, believe in this way, and you will see, once you think like this, your life turns around. But belief must be lived, breathed, woven into the fabric of your every thought, your every action. You cannot merely hope for change, you must embody it. The power within you does not answer to fleeting wishes or half-hearted dreams. It responds only to certainty, to conviction, to the unwavering knowledge that what you seek is already on its way to you. This is the great secret behind all success. The unseen force that moves mountains and bends destiny itself. Collier speaks of the mind's ability to shape experience. Most people allow circumstances to dictate their actions, believing they must react to the world rather than shape it. But the truth is, the world reacts to you. Your mind, your beliefs, and most importantly, the image you hold of yourself determine what you attract, what you experience, and who you become. This is the key, Collier reveals. You must first see yourself achieving. succeeding and thriving before your life can reflect it. What happens when you begin to see yourself in this way? Collier explains that the subconscious mind does not distinguish between reality and imagination. It takes what it is given and works tirelessly to bring it into your life. If you see yourself as a failure, as someone who struggles, then your mind aligns with that reality and ensures it manifests. But when you deliberately replace that image with one of confidence, of success, of absolute certainty in your ability to achieve, everything shifts. Your subconscious mind begins to work for you, rather than against you. Collier does not speak of wishful thinking. He is not asking you to merely hope. Hope is weak. It lacks substance. What he describes is certainty. The unshakable conviction that what you see within your mind must come to pass. This is the force that moves mountains, that bends reality, that turns lives around. Once you think like this, once you believe with such certainty that doubt is no longer a factor, you become unstoppable. Feel the weight of achievement, the satisfaction, the rewards. If you seek better relationships, envision them as strong, fulfilling, and filled with joy. Let these images become so real that they begin to replace the old ones of doubt and struggle. And here is where the magic happens. When you hold these images long enough, when they become your dominant thoughts, your actions begin to align with them. You no longer hesitate, no longer second guess yourself. Opportunities appear where once there were obstacles. The people and circumstances you need are drawn into your life as if by some unseen force. This is not chance. This is the law of the mind at work, responding to the images you consistently hold. Collier compares this to the way an architect envisions a building before a single stone is laid. Every detail is mapped out, every possibility considered. The structure already exists in the architect's mind before it ever appears in the physical world. Your life is no different. If you fail to see yourself as you wish to be, if you lack vision, you leave your future to the mercy of chance. But the moment you take control, the moment you see yourself doing the thing you desire, you lay the foundation for its creation. There are those who will scoff at this idea. They will say that life is unpredictable, that success is for the lucky few. But look closely, and you will see that those who achieve the most in life are not the ones who waited for luck. They are the ones who saw themselves succeeding long before the world recognized their potential. They held onto their vision through failure, through struggle, through doubt, until the world had no choice but to yield to the image they had created. Collier urges you to make this practice a daily habit, not a fleeting exercise, not a momentary inspiration, but a way of thinking so ingrained that it becomes your natural state. When you wake in the morning, see yourself living the life you desire. Before you sleep at night, reinforce that vision. Let it guide your actions, influence your decisions, and shape your reality. Your subconscious mind is a powerful servant, responding to the commands you give it. If you command it with fear, with limitation, it will dutifully create a life that reflects those limitations. But if you command it with certainty, with vision, it will set forces in motion that turn your deepest desires into reality. This is the secret Collier reveals, the secret that has changed the lives of those who dare to use it. There will be moments of doubt. There will be times when the old patterns, the old fears, try to reassert themselves, but when they do, return to your vision. Strengthen it. Make it clearer, more vivid. Remind yourself that your mind is the architect of your life, and you are the one holding the blueprint. No one else. No external force, just you and the power you choose to use. This is where everything changes, not in some distant future, not when circumstances improve, but the very moment you decide to see yourself differently. The moment you hold the vision of the life you desire with such conviction that it becomes more real to you than anything else. This is when everything shifts in your favor. This is when you step into the power that has been within you all along. See yourself doing it. See yourself being it, and watch as the world as your life bends to match the image you refuse to let go. But holding the vision is only the beginning. The next step, the one that separates those who dream from those who achieve, is action, not blind effort. Not struggle for the sake of struggle, but action born from the absolute belief that success is inevitable. Thought is the origin of all creation. Everything that has ever been brought into existence began as an idea, a fleeting vision in someone's mind. The towering cathedrals of Europe, the sprawling cities teeming with life, the marvels of science and invention, all were first conceived in thought before they took form. Your life follows this same immutable law. The circumstances you find yourself in are not mere accidents, nor are they dictated by fate. They are the manifestations of the dominant thoughts you entertain. Collier speaks of this with unwavering certainty. He does not suggest that thought alone can conjure wealth or success from thin air, but he insists upon something equally profound. Thought is the master architect of your life. If you hold within your mind visions of prosperity, if you see yourself as capable, strong, and worthy, you will begin to act in ways that bring those visions to life. If, on the other hand, you allow doubt, fear, and failure to be the seeds you plant, you will reap only what such seeds can bear. Consider this. When you believe in your own ability, you move with a quiet reassurance. Your steps are steady, your voice firm, your presence commands respect. People respond to this energy and opportunities seem to find their way to you. But if you doubt yourself, if you walk through life expecting failure, your posture changes. Your shoulders droop. Your voice hesitates. And the world mirrors back to you the lack of confidence you project. Thought, then, is not a passive thing. It is a force that shapes your very being and, in turn, the reality that unfolds before you. Collier draws upon the timeless wisdom of the ages to illustrate this. He reminds us that the great thinkers, the leaders, the visionaries of history all understood this principle, whether they spoke of it explicitly or not. Shakespeare captured it in the words, "There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, lived by the belief that a man's life is shaped by the thoughts he chooses to entertain, and long before then, the sacred texts of ancient civilizations declared that a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. But this truth is not merely philosophical, it is practical. It is the key that unlocks the door to change. If you find yourself in a life that does not satisfy you, a situation that weighs upon you, Collier urges you to examine your thoughts. What do you allow to dominate your mind? Do you dwell upon lack, upon hardship, upon all that is wrong, or do you fill your mind with the images of the life you wish to create? For the mind is fertile soil, and whatever you plant within it, it will grow. Now you may wonder, if this is true, why do so many struggle? Why do good, hard-working people find themselves trapped in cycles of difficulty? The answer, Collier suggests, lies in the unconscious patterns of thought that have been ingrained over time. Many people accept limitation as their natural condition. They have been told from a young age that wealth is for others, that success is reserved for the fortunate few, that life is a series of struggles to be endured, and so, without realizing it, they reinforce these beliefs daily. But here is the revelation that turns everything around. The mind can be reconditioned. The thoughts that have shaped your past do not have to shape your future. The moment you become aware of this power, you gain the ability to direct it. You can choose consciously to think thoughts that serve you, rather than thoughts that diminish you. Collier does not offer this as mere hope, he presents it as law. Just as gravity pulls an object to the earth, so too does thought create corresponding conditions in life. The man who sees himself as strong finds strength rising within him. The woman who envisions success discovers opportunities unfolding before her. The shift is subtle at first, but with persistence, it becomes undeniable. There is a story Collier tells, not of a single man, but of countless men and women who have awakened to this truth. those who were once trapped in poverty, who saw no escape, who believed themselves destined to struggle until they changed the way they thought. Until they began to see themselves not as victims of circumstance, but as masters of their own fate. With each passing day, as they held firm to the image of the life they desired, their actions changed. Their decisions aligned with their vision, and step by step, they climbed toward the success they once thought unattainable. It is not magic, nor is it wishful thinking. It is the simple, undeniable law that what you focus on expands. A mind consumed with doubt will find endless reasons to doubt. A mind filled with determination will carve a path forward, no matter the obstacles. This is why Collier insists you must guard your thoughts as carefully as a king guards his treasure. The thoughts you allow in will either enrich you or impoverish you, and the choice is entirely yours. Perhaps you have tried before. Perhaps you have attempted to think positively, to believe in a better future, only to see little change. But Collier offers a crucial insight. It is not enough to merely wish for something. You must see it with clarity, hold it with conviction, and act as though it were already yours. You must persist in the vision, unwavering, even when the world around you suggests otherwise. For the mind, like a garden, takes time to bear fruit. A single seed does not sprout overnight, nor does a single thought transform a life in an instant. But with patience, with unwavering belief, the harvest comes. This, then, is the secret. That your thoughts are not fleeting, inconsequential things. They are the foundation upon which your entire life is built. To think rightly is to live rightly. To master your thoughts is to master your destiny. And once you grasp this, once you truly begin to think in this way, your life turns around, not by chance, not by external fortune, but by the unbreakable law that as you think, so shall you become. Yet thought must be followed by conviction so deep, so unwavering, that it shapes the very core of your being. A passing wish carries no power. A momentary hope dissolves like mist in the wind. But a belief so strong that it leaves no room for doubt, that is the force that bends reality to your will. It is the difference between those who merely dream and those who bring their dreams into existence. It is the force that turns mere thought into substance, that transforms the invisible into the undeniable. The law of supply states that everything you need is already present in the universe, waiting for you to claim it. But this is where most people falter. They believe in lack. They see obstacles and walls where there are only doors waiting to be opened. And so, by their very thinking, they repel the supply that is meant for them. Collier tells us that supply is never the issue. The issue lies in our acceptance, our belief, our readiness to receive. The world is not barren, nor is the universe stingy. Everything you require already exists in abundance, but the channel through which it flows, your mind, must be open. Doubt, fear, and hesitation clog this channel, restricting the flow of supply. The moment you remove these mental barriers, the stream of abundance rushes forth, eager to meet you. Consider the vast ocean. A man approaches with a thimble, another with a cup, another with a bucket, and yet another with a massive barrel. Each dips into the sea, and each receives according to their vessel. But the ocean remains the same. It does not judge, nor does it limit. It simply gives, in proportion to what is accepted. And so it is with life. The supply is endless, infinite, unwavering. It is only the mind that determines how much one shall receive. Collier speaks of the mind as a magnet, drawing onto itself the exact conditions, people, and opportunities that align with its dominant thoughts. If you dwell in thoughts of limitation, you will experience limitation. If you expect struggle, struggle will meet you at every turn. But if you train your mind to expect abundance, to see possibility where others see despair, then life will respond in kind, delivering to you a bounty that once seemed impossible. This is not mere wishful thinking, it is the application of an immutable law. The universe does not discriminate, it does not favor one person over another. It simply responds with mathematical precision to the nature of one's thoughts. Change your thinking, and your world changes accordingly. But what does it mean to think in accordance with the law of supply? It means to rid oneself of every trace of doubt. It means to act as though what you seek is already on its way to you. It means to walk with the quiet confidence of one who knows that what they need will appear at the exact moment it is required. This is the essence of faith, not blind hope, but a knowing, a deep inner certainty that supply is assured. And this faith must be unwavering. The moment doubt creeps in, the flow is interrupted. It is like turning off a faucet, just as the water begins to pour. Many people sabotage themselves by oscillating between belief and disbelief, between expectation and fear. They open the channel one moment, then block it the next, and they wonder why their lives remain stagnant. True faith, as Collier reminds us, is continuous. He tells us to look at nature. The birds do not question whether there will be food tomorrow. The rivers do not hesitate before they flow. The sun does not wonder whether it will rise. The universe moves in perfect rhythm, supplying all that is needed without hesitation. And yet, man, endowed with thought, often stands in his own way, allowing doubt to obscure what is naturally his. The law of supply is not limited to material wealth. It extends to health, to happiness, to love, to every aspect of life. A man who believes himself to be full of vitality will find his body responding in kind. A woman who sees herself as loved and cherished will radiate an energy that attracts precisely that. The principle is universal. The supply is ever present. It is only our minds that must be adjusted. Collier emphasizes that one of the greatest hindrances to this law is the notion of unworthiness. Many people subconsciously reject abundance because they do not believe they deserve it. They look upon wealth, success, or happiness as something reserved for others, something they must struggle for or prove themselves worthy of. But the truth is that supply does not discriminate. It is available to all. And the only requirement is acceptance. You do not have to be special, nor must you wait for some distant future when you have earned it. The moment you believe yourself worthy is the moment the floodgates open. To apply this law, Collier advises one thing above all. Act as though you have already received. Not in pretense, but in genuine assurance. Walk, talk, and think as though the very thing you seek is already yours, because in truth, it is. The delay is not in the supply, but in the acceptance. The moment the mind fully embraces the reality of abundance, that abundance must manifest. It is law. And so, we return to the question. How does life turn around? It turns around the moment you recognize that you are not a beggar in a universe of scarcity. You are a rightful heir to boundless supply. The riches of life are not bestowed upon the few, but made available to all who are willing to receive. The shift happens in a single moment. The moment of knowing, not hoping, not wishing. Knowing. Knowing that every need is already met. Knowing that the path is already laid out. Knowing that the supply is limitless and that you, by the very nature of your existence, are entitled to claim it. Collier's message is simple yet profound. There is no lack, except in the mind. There is no delay, except in doubt. There is no withholding, except in disbelief. The law of supply is always working, always flowing. It is up to you to decide how much you will receive. And the decision is made not through effort, not through struggle, but through thought. Through a mind trained to see abundance where others see lack. Through a heart that accepts, without resistance, the infinite generosity of the universe. But there is another force at work, one that determines whether this abundance flows freely to you, or whether it remains just out of reach. It is the force of expectation. For what you truly expect deep within is what you ultimately receive. The mind, like a sculptor, molds reality according to the shape of your belief. If you expect struggle, struggle appears. If you expect ease, doors open effortlessly before you. The universe does not hesitate. It does not delay. It simply reflects. Success is not an accident, nor is it a privilege reserved for those born into wealth or opportunity. It follows a principle, as unwavering as the tides, as precise as the movements of the stars. That principle, Collier tells us, is rooted in the mind's ability to shape reality through thought. Whatever dominates a person's thinking molds the circumstances of their life, and therein lies the formula. To see in the mind's eye what one desires, to hold it with such clarity and certainty that the world itself bends to accommodate it. Collier describes this as the natural law of creation. Thought begets reality. Yet so many fail to grasp its implications. They drift through life at the mercy of external conditions, never realizing that they themselves are the architects of those conditions. They wish for success, but their thoughts dwell on failure. They long for prosperity, but they see only lack. And so, by the very nature of this law, they receive more of what they expect, more hardship, more struggle, more disappointment. To turn one's life around, then, requires a fundamental shift. It is not enough to want success. One must think as though success is inevitable, as though it has already been secured. This is not self-deception, it is the act of aligning one's mental state with the law that governs achievement. The mind, once convinced, sets every faculty of the body into motion. Opportunities begin to appear where once there seemed none. The right people, the right circumstances, the right ideas begin to converge, drawn by the force of a mind fixed on its purpose. Collier illustrates this by pointing to those who seem to rise effortlessly to greatness. They do not hesitate. They do not dwell on obstacles. They act with a confidence so complete that others mistake it for natural talent or blind fortune. But look closer, and you will see the truth. They are simply following the formula. They think in terms of possibility, not limitation. They refuse to entertain doubt, and because of this, success in one form or another becomes inevitable. But what of failure? If the mind holds such power, then why do so many struggle? The answer, Collier tells us, is simple, because the formula works in both directions. A person who dwells on failure, who constantly anticipates defeat, is just as certain to bring it about as one who confidently expects success. The law does not discriminate. It does not care whether one believes in victory or in loss. It only responds to the dominant thought held in the mind. This is why those who succeed often seem immune to doubt. They have trained themselves to see only their vision of success, refusing to be distracted by temporary setbacks. To them, obstacles are not signs of defeat, but mere adjustments along the path. They persist where others falter. They continue where others turn back, and in doing so they demonstrate the simple truth Collier sought to share. Success is not a matter of luck, nor is it granted by the whims of fate. It is a certainty, a formula as real and unchanging as gravity itself. To adopt this way of thinking is to step into a world where limitations begin to dissolve. It is to realize that every thought, every belief, every expectation is a command issued to the universe, and so the question becomes, what are you commanding? Are you instructing the world to bring you hardship, or are you directing it to deliver success? Collier urges the reader to take this formula to heart, not as a passive hope, but as an active principle of living. To see oneself as successful, to feel it, to know it beyond all doubt, to think and act as though success were already a foregone conclusion. For in doing so, one aligns with the natural forces that shape all achievement, and the world begins to shift in response. Many may scoff at such ideas, believing success to be a matter of strategy, of skill, of external conditions. And yet, even the most carefully laid plans falter when driven by fear or uncertainty. It is the mind that determines whether a plan will succeed or fail. A person who believes fully in their success will find ways to make even imperfect plans work. A person who doubts, who hesitates, will find excuses, even when all conditions are favourable. And so the formula is as follows. Fix in the mind a clear vision of success. Hold to it as though it were already a reality. Allow no room for doubt or hesitation, for fear. Act each day with the certainty that success is already in motion, that each step taken brings it closer. This is not merely a hopeful mindset, it is the very principle by which all success is achieved. Collier's message is not one of idle dreaming, but of practical transformation. Those who understand this formula will no longer wait for success to come to them. They will no longer hope for change. They will think as those who have already succeeded, and in doing so, they will find that success, once distant and elusive, has been within their grasp all along. This is the truth of the ages. It is the secret that has propelled every great thinker, every innovator, every leader who has left a mark upon history, and it remains just as powerful today. For those willing to adopt this way of thinking, for those who hold unwavering to the vision of success, the path forward becomes clear. The obstacles shrink, the opportunities multiply, and the life they once dreamed of becomes at last the life they live. But there is one more key that determines whether this transformation is fleeting, or whether it becomes the very foundation of your existence. It is not enough to merely think in this way for a moment, or even for a day. It must become your nature, your default way of seeing the world. For what good is a moment of clarity if doubt is allowed to creep back in? The mind must be trained, disciplined, held firm in its course. Only then does the unseen force of the universe respond in full. Only then does life, with all its infinite possibility, begin to shift in ways beyond what you ever imagined. Think of the concept of freedom, not as something granted, but as something realized. For the mind is the first battlefield where every victory or defeat begins. Collier teaches that true freedom is not found in the external world, but within the limitless expanse of the mind. To think is to create, and to believe is to manifest. Many spend their days waiting for permission to be free. They believe that when circumstances improve, and only then, will they be truly free. But Collier dismantles this illusion. He tells us that the mind is already free, that the power we seek is not in the hands of others, but within our own consciousness. Freedom is a choice, a mental state that once accepted transforms every aspect of life. To think of oneself as bound is to be bound. To think of oneself as free is to step into boundless possibility. The moment this shift occurs, a person sees that the very obstacles they believed were holding them back were, in truth, illusions, mere shadows cast by limiting beliefs. But how does this work? How can a simple shift in thought alter reality? Collier provides the answer. The subconscious mind, that vast and tireless servant, responds to the instructions it is given. If you tell yourself you are powerless, it will prove you right. It will seek out the evidence, highlight every failure, magnify every doubt. But if you tell yourself you are capable, that you are free, that success is yours to claim, then the subconscious mind will likewise prove you right. It will open doors where none seem to exist. It will present ideas, create connections, and lead you toward the very circumstances you once thought impossible. Yet many hesitate. They wonder, what if it does not work? What if I fail? But Collier warns that even these questions are dangerous, for doubt is the enemy of creation. To question whether freedom is possible is to deny its existence. The mind, ever obedient, will reinforce this doubt. It will create roadblocks, reinforce fears, and ensure that failure comes to pass. But the opposite is also true. To affirm one's power, to accept freedom without question, is to see it materialize. Collier likens this mental shift to unlocking a door that has always been open. There was never anything preventing one from stepping through, only the belief that the door was locked. The key, then, is realization. The moment you see that power has been yours all along, the world changes. This is not wishful thinking. This is not idle dreaming. It is a principle as certain as gravity. What you impress upon your subconscious becomes your reality. Those who live in fear, expecting misfortune, invite it into their lives. Those who live in confidence, expecting success, shape their world accordingly. The question then is simple. What do you choose to believe? Do you accept the chains or do you cast them off? Collier offers no middle ground. To waver is to remain bound. To hesitate is to remain in the shadows. But to decide, to fully accept the truth of your own power, is to watch the walls crumble, to see the road ahead open in ways you never imagined. Once you think like this, your life turns around. Doors that seemed locked burst open. Opportunities you never noticed before become clear. You find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people. Is it luck? No. It is the natural consequence of a mind that has accepted its own freedom. It is the unfolding of a law as precise as any in nature, the law that what the mind believes the world reflects. Collier tells us that we are not beggars at the mercy of chance, we are creators. And the moment we accept this truth, we begin to wield the greatest power of all, the power of thought. Collier urges us to claim it now, not tomorrow, not when circumstances improve, now. For the mind is always listening, always shaping, always responding to the beliefs it is given, and the belief that you are free, that you hold the power, that your success is assured, is the belief that changes everything. And so, the invitation is before you, to see yourself not as a prisoner of circumstance, but as the master of your destiny. To embrace the truth that freedom is not something given, it is something realized. The world bends to the mind that knows its own power. For the moment you do, you awaken a force greater than anything the world has shown you. This is not mere optimism. This is the law that governs all things, the law that has shaped the lives of the great and the successful, the unseen force that determines whether one man prospers while another struggles. It is the law of attraction. The thoughts you hold, the beliefs you entertain are not passive. They are magnetic. They are the architects of your reality. And the moment you truly understand this, the moment you take hold of this principle with unwavering certainty, life itself begins to shift in response. Consider for a moment the nature of a magnet. It does not chase the metal it attracts, nor does it force itself upon objects outside its influence. It simply is. And by virtue of its existence, it draws to itself that which resonates with its nature. The same is true of the human mind. Every thought we hold, every belief we nurture, every expectation we entertain sends out an invisible force, calling to itself that which aligns with its essence. Collier speaks of the law of attraction not as some mystical secret, but as an unwavering truth. It does not discriminate between good and bad, success and failure, joy and sorrow. It simply responds. The thoughts you dwell upon become the patterns of your life. The emotions you allow to take root shape the circumstances around you. The beliefs you hold, whether empowering or limiting, become the architects of your destiny. Most people, however, are unaware of this power at work. They drift through life believing themselves at the mercy of circumstance, reacting to events as though they are mere spectators. They long for success, but allow doubt to take root. They dream of abundance, but allow fear or scarcity to fill their minds, and so the law of attraction responds, not to their fleeting wishes, but to the dominant vibrations of their inner world. Collier challenges this passive approach. He insists that once you begin to think differently, once you take control of the thoughts you entertain, everything changes. Imagine the mind as a broadcasting tower, sending out waves into the unseen currents of reality. Those waves, whether of confidence or despair, of hope or anxiety, travel outward and return in kind. If you broadcast thoughts of struggle, the universe answers with obstacles. If you send out thoughts of certainty, life opens pathways where none seemed to exist before. But thought alone is not enough. It must be fortified with conviction, coloured with emotion, and held with persistence. A single wish, fleeting and uncertain, carries no power. It is the steady pulse of belief that shapes the world. Just as a seed buried in fertile soil must be watered and nurtured before it can break through the earth, so too must thought be cultivated with unwavering faith before it manifests in reality. The law of attraction is not about idle dreaming. It is not about sitting still and waiting for fortune to arrive. It is about aligning one's mind with one's desires so completely that action becomes inevitable. When you truly believe in something, when every fibre of your being resonates with its reality, you do not hesitate, you do not falter. You move forward with purpose, and the world adjusts itself to meet you. Doubt is the great disruptor of this law. A mind divided between belief and skepticism sends out conflicting signals. It asks for success, but anticipates failure. It reaches for abundance but clings to scarcity. The universe, ever responsive, mirrors this uncertainty. It delivers not what is asked for in words, but what is felt in the depths of the soul. And so the key to harnessing the law of attraction lies in clarity, in absolute unwavering certainty, in the deep and abiding conviction that what you seek is already yours in essence, and will soon be yours in form. This is not to say that challenges will not arise. Even the strongest minds encounter setbacks, but those who understand the law of attraction do not see obstacles as signs of failure. They see them as stepping stones, as opportunities for refinement, as temporary delays rather than permanent denials. They do not waver in their belief, for they know that what they have set in motion cannot be undone so long as they do not surrender their faith. Collier offers a simple but profound exercise. Each morning before the world intrudes with its noise and distractions, take a moment to center your mind. See yourself already possessing what you desire. Feel the emotions of success, of fulfillment, of joy as though they were present now. Carry that feeling with you throughout the day, reinforcing it with every action, every decision, every spoken word. For what you hold in your mind with absolute certainty must, by the very nature of this law, come to be. Once you think like this, your life turns around. The doubts that once held you back begin to fade. The struggles that once seemed insurmountable become mere challenges to overcome. The opportunities that once seemed scarce appear in abundance. You no longer chase after success. It comes to you, drawn by the magnetic pull of your unwavering belief. In the grand orchestration of life, the law of attraction is the unseen conductor, responding to the melodies we play within our minds. And so, the question is not whether this law works. It always works. The question is, what are you attracting? What symphony are you composing? What reality are you calling into existence? Collier leaves us with a truth as simple as it is profound. Change your thoughts, and you change your world. Hold fast to your belief, and the universe will rearrange itself to match your vision. Trust in this law, and life will unfold in ways more wondrous than you ever imagined. But there is more to this truth. More than merely believing, more than simply wishing for a better life. Desire alone is not enough. Faith alone will not suffice. There are three great requisites that govern this law, three conditions that must be met for thought to become reality, for the unseen to take form in the tangible world. Without them, even the strongest belief can falter. With them, the power of creation itself is placed within your hands. Collier unveils this truth in what he calls the three requisites, the final key to unlocking everything you have ever desired. It is not just any thought that shapes your world. It is the nature of your thought, the intensity of your belief, and the depth of your expectation that determines what unfolds before you. Collier reminds us that life does not happen to us. It happens through us. It takes the shape of what we think, what we believe, and what we are willing to accept as possible. So what are these three requisites that Collier speaks of? What must we master to turn our lives around, to step into a new reality of abundance, joy, and success? They are as simple as they are profound: desire, belief, and action. Together, these forces weave the very fabric of your destiny. The first is desire. To desire is to set the wheels of the universe into motion. Desire is the spark that ignites the flame of creation, the seed from which all things grow. Without desire, there is no movement, no progress, no unfolding of possibility. But Collier is clear. This must not be passing whim or a vague wish. It must be a burning, all-consuming hunger for what you seek, the kind of desire that keeps you awake at night, that fills your every waking thought, that refuses to be ignored. But desire alone is not enough, for a desire without belief is like a ship without a sail, adrift, directionless, powerless against the currents of life. Collier insists that belief is the magic that turns thought into reality, and not just any belief, but absolute certainty, the deep, unshakable knowing that what you seek is not just possible, but inevitable. Doubt is the enemy of creation. It erodes the foundation upon which success is built. It whispers that you are not capable, that your dreams are beyond reach, that you are not worthy. But understand this: the mind is a mirror reflecting back to you whatever you hold as true. If you believe you are destined for struggle, struggle will find you. If you believe you are meant for greatness, the world will conspire to make it so. Collier speaks of faith, not in the religious sense, but in the absolute trust in the laws of the universe, that what you put forth in thought and belief must return to you in kind. If you wish to turn your life around, you must train your mind to see possibility where others see limitation, to expect success where others expect failure, to trust in your own power, even when the path is unclear. The final key is action. Thought alone will not move mountains, only effort will. The great mistake so many make is in waiting. Waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for circumstances to be just right, waiting for some sign that now is the time. But Collier warns us the time is always now. The only moment you will ever have is the present one, and what you do with it determines all that follows. Action is the bridge between thought and reality. It is the force that brings the invisible into the visible. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a declaration to the universe. I am ready. I am willing. I am moving toward what is mine. But action must be aligned action. It is not about busyness, but about direction. It is about taking the steps that bring you closer to what you desire, moving with purpose, with intention, with a knowing that every effort is building towards something greater. The universe does not reward hesitation. It rewards boldness. It rewards those who dare to step forward, even when they cannot yet see the full path ahead. So here you stand, at the threshold of a new life, the life you have always longed for, the life you were meant to live, and it is within reach, waiting for you to claim it. But to do so, you must choose. You must choose desire over complacency, belief over doubt, action over hesitation. Collier's message is clear. Your world is not shaped by luck, nor by circumstance, nor by forces outside of your control. It is shaped by you, by what you think, by what you expect, by what you are willing to act upon. And the moment you embrace this truth, the moment you decide to think differently, to believe differently, to move differently, that is the moment everything changes. It is not a matter of if your life will turn around, but when. And that moment, that turning point, begins now. It begins the moment you decide to take hold of the reins, to master your thoughts, to direct them toward what you seek with unwavering certainty. So I ask you now, what do you desire? What is it that calls to you, that stirs something deep within your soul? Know that it is already yours, waiting for you to claim it. Desire it with all your heart. Act as if it is already unfolding before you. And watch, as the world shifts to meet you, as doors open where once there were none, as opportunities appear, seemingly out of nowhere, as your life, once burdened by fear and hesitation, begins to transform before your very eyes. This is the secret. This is the truth Collier has laid before us. The power has always been yours, and now the choice is too.